Welcome back to the tangent. Today we're going to get into large tangents because this is a very broad topic, but we're going to try to keep it within one cast. We're going to basically talk about music.
I think this is probably the most open thing that anybody that could ever listen to the podcast could relate to, since basically everybody
loves music. And here's the thing: is I think in this room alone, I think we have a very diverse music listening.
We could just go around the room and just be like, "What's your favorite genre of music?" And I don't think any of us would repeat.
Yeah, I think it'd be completely different. I love country music, but I also love 80s hair bands and old school rock and roll. I'm even into a little bit of the punk music, like when Green Day came out and stuff like that. I love that stuff. It's just, I always go back to the roots of being a country music fan. And I still listen to country music more than anything else.
I think that's the coolest thing about music that kind of goes unspoken. I feel like everybody has a root genre that they're just no matter what, that's their go-to. Yeah. And then everybody also has a million other subgenres.
Well, the thing is, I think most people start in a place and they either migrate out of that place to other things or they stay there.
Well, and here's how that normally starts, and the studies have proven that up until you're about 12 years old, you tend to listen to whatever your parents listen to.
Yeah.
Like my dad, I mean, you know this, Dad loves Simon & Garfunkel, Jim Croce.
And that's weird, because me and James, we're brothers. Our basis starts the same because we listen to what our dad listened to. He listens to a lot of country. I don't. I listen to a lot of metal. So we both had the same base that we start from, and then we go out into way different directions.
By the time you're around 12, and it's different for everybody, you tend to get your own little foothold into music. Mm-hmm. Whether it's influence from your friends and where you live, or just you enjoy music to a point that what you listen to is what you listen to. My progression through music started with old rock.
Mm-hmm. 70s rock, 60s rock.
60s and 70s rock and roll. But I didn't go straight to country music, because when I was about 11 or 12 years old, our older brother was into 80s hair bands. Motley Crue, Poison, Bon Jovi, Metallica, them guys. Aerosmith. We listened to a lot of that. So yes, that was what my genre was. I was a huge Bon Jovi fan. My brother wasn't, but I was. I loved Bon Jovi. But then progressively, because of Bon Jovi was a little the softer side of what that genre was, I started listening to more softer rock. And then that transitions over into country music, because if you really listen to soft rock and country, they're pretty much the same, just with different twangs in the instruments.
They're super well,
and they both share a lot with blues as well. But you never got that into blues, did you?
No, I didn't.
Very early rock and roll is essentially Southern blues.
Yeah, bluegrass, Southern rock. I mean, Southern country. It's whatever. Rock country.
The Southern styles.
How many people today would consider Elvis to be rock and roll at all? Yet he was known as the king of.
Well, yeah, and those were a lot of the early days of rock. So
he was one of the people that he didn't start the genre, but he made the genre popular by what.
Yeah,
he did.
Right.
Yeah, he helped define the genre, and then the definition expanded a lot, which is why you have so many different genres of rock. And that same thing happened with rap, which is why you have 100 different genres of rap now.
And pop music. Who's the king of pop?
Right, and pop is weird because pop is just sort of one giant umbrella. It doesn't really have subgenres. It's just a giant umbrella.
Yeah. Right, but who's the king of pop? Michael Jackson. Is he the first one to do that style of music? No. But did he make it popular because of how big he became?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were saying something. I apologize. I cut you off.
I don't remember what I said.
Well, Again, I apologize for cutting you off.
I just want to make a note that since nobody remembers what they said, this is the first time James has ever apologized for interrupting one of us on podcast.
And I would also like to say, that Jay's here again, so that's good.
Oh yeah, Jay's here.
Yeah, we did not introduce everybody.
My thing is that we just went right into the music thing.
It's a big topic, so we just jumped right into it.
Harrison is back, even though he has been gone from us for a few weeks. He's back now, but he also brought Jay, so
this is going to be
it broadens
discussion.
this talk a little bit more, having more people in here.
I believe that pop music in general they all follow a very similar structure, and they're easy to listen to, and that's kind of what defines the genre.
Right, but the thing is, like, they can all sound very different because it's a very simple definition in order to qualify as pop. So therefore, it has a huge umbrella that falls underneath of it.
Like, I personally, I consider myself to not like rap music, but I do like rap songs that are like pop songs, like the more poppy artists. Like,
I'm with you on that.
I kind of like Kanye West a little bit.
Do not even say kinda. You love Kanye.
I like him as a
just because of Kanye.
As a meme, I like him.
He says
Kanye is a meme.
He says that,
no, and I like
named his child Northwest.
Like Eminem or like Lil Wayne. I kind of like some of their songs too.
You
so
really like them.
so,
Don't even say
Kanye. I would also
a lot.
I would also like to say I'm not a huge fan of rap, but I do like a lot of NF stuff.
I love NF. He is really good. That's the one that I was showing you.
Mm-hmm.
We have a radio station here in St. Louis that's 107.7.
Yeah.
That tends to play the poppier songs.
Well, it's a top 100 station. It's a Z station.
It is a Z. It is exactly.
Right.
It's a Z station.
So for anyone who's on like the East Coast, Z100.
Right.
It's the same company that owns it. It's the same kind of station. It's a top 100
station.
But
either way, the kind of rap stuff that they put on that station, I can listen to, which is really weird because I normally don't. But stuff like that,
I like 2000.
It's kind of rap. It's a pop rap.
If it's in the top 100, it'll go on that station. Yes. There are some rap songs that make it in the top 100. There are rock songs that make it in the top 100, but a lot of it's pop.
I'd like to.
So probably at least 60% of the top 100 at any point in time is probably pop.
And it has been probably for the last 20 years.
Probably more than that, but yeah.
I'd like to clarify that I like the 2000s era of rap, but I don't like the current.
If we want to talk about rap, I was brought up listening to NWA, old school stuff. Now, I liked that stuff growing up. Don't like it too much now. It's not my thing. But I know it. Like Nelly stuff when Nelly first came out, I loved Nelly. I liked Nelly's stuff. But
he lives down the street.
I still listen.
He's actually not that far away from here.
He lives in Florissant.
Yeah, I still listen to my country music, but I did have that guilty pleasure of putting on a Nelly song and just rocking out in my car.
Right. I feel like
I just on a side note, I do know someone who delivered a pizza to Nelly's house when he was having a house party, and he got invited to come back after his shift.
Did he go?
He did not, because he closed that night, and he was just like, "Oh, the party's probably going to be over." It probably wasn't, because it's a rap party. It's a rapper's house party. It was probably going to the wee hours of the morning, but he was just like, "It's 2 o'clock in the morning." And
I used to know where his mother lived off the lake, but she doesn't live there anymore because
out of context, that sounds really creepy.
It's back by Lake Forest.
Again
off topic.
In context, Nelly bought his mother a house off of Lake St. Louis, which is a very ritzy neighborhood, type because it's right off of a big lake. It got very popular from the sightseers, knowing that they thinking that that's Nelly's house, but it's not really his house; it's his mother's house. So she ended up selling the house because she just got too much.
Right. Although another off topic, and even off topic of music, Jeff Dunham lived in O'Fallon, and I knew someone who literally lived 2 streets away from him.
I didn't even know
Jeff
that Dunham lived here in St. Louis.
Yeah, he lived in St. Louis.
Now I know that. Now I know for a fact that Nikki Glazer is living back in St. Louis again. I think she's out. Somewhere in South County.
She does a ton of shows at the Funny Bone already, so that doesn't.
But the thing is she was living in New York, but when this whole pandemic came out, she ended up moving back at home with her parents. But she said she's going to stay here for the indefinite future until she can figure out where her career path is going, because with everything shutting down, she can't do comedies.
Yeah. But not Jeff Dunham, though.
You know, what's actually...
Well, Jeff Dunham, if I remember correctly, was actually from the St. Louis area, which is why he's just here.
Right, and I didn't know that. I don't know why I didn't... Because I love Jeff Dunham. I think he's absolutely hilarious.
more people from like going back into music. Still not completely on topic, but Justin Timberlake went to like Hazelwood High School.
Yeah, I mean,
did he really?
Yeah,
Really.
Like, my detention teacher in middle school was in the same grade as Justin Timberlake, and he always talked about JT.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of music influence here in St. Louis. I mean, B.B. King was from here and lived out here for years.
Yeah,
he ran that club down in the city forever. But I mean, Chuck Berry. There's a couple other people.
Type people.
Yeah, and then even as they got as Soulja Boy is from St. Louis.
That rapper that
Did you
just
say
died.
Soulja Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Soldier Boy.
Yeah, he said Soldier Boy.
The guy Huey,
just Soldier.
He just died. The guy that made
Soldier.
Nobody's that mad.
I'm white. Okay, I am a very white person, so I said it a very white way.
It threw me off guard. I'm sorry.
So, Harrison, you were talking about the rapper. Are you talking about the rapper that just got shot a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, Huey, I think is his name.
Oh yeah, I sent you that.
Yeah, the guy who wrote "Pop Lock and Drop It," or that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was shot.
Was he shot here or was he shot somewhere else?
I think he was shot in St. Louis.
He was shot in St. Louis. I sent you the thing.
Okay, because don't get me wrong, a fair number of people have been shot in St. Louis recently, but so I'm not doubting.
Horrible.
For anyone who's following the news, we had that lovely moment with Ken and Karen.
Oh my god, that meme is so good.
Which was that the McCloskeys, Mark and something McCloskey?
Is that what they're calling him, Ken?
No, they're Ken and Karen. They no one knew their name initially, so they were just calling them
Ken and Karen. What I'm saying is, like, they had this huge argument on the radio the other day about what they're going to call the male side of the Karen.
Yeah,
like you have Karens, you have damn it Karen, the Karen that comes in. I want to talk to the manager.
Karen?
Yeah, what's the guy's name for Karen? And everybody's like, well, it's Ken. I'm like, well, I kind of like Carl.
I just always kept calling them Karens, but
I would say they're either still Karens because I wouldn't say since it's such a racial slur nowadays to call somebody a Karen, then Karen's not even a gender specific name anymore. Forget it. Let's just steer them to the scheme.
Don't misgender my Karens.
The K word is the same thing as
I'm
the
a
N-word.
Karen because I got the white supremacist haircut.
There's a lot of TikToks coming out of people that are actually named Karen. It's like, let me just say, I am not them. I wish I could change my name now. I never thought I would be an insult.
So there was on the radio. They actually had a lady call in and say, "Yeah, my daughter's really mad at me because I called her. Her name is Karen, and now she has to live the rest of her life known as Karen."
So,
going back to music,
indeed. So we have a general idea of what James listens to now.
Country.
So, does anyone else want to talk about what they listen to?
I do want to have one more comment going back on that rap thing really quick about pop music, because it is very noticeable that, like, a lot of pop songs, while they have a lot of varying things, like Katy Perry is different from Rihanna, but they're all still encompassed in pop.
Right.
A lot of them have these, like, featuring a rap artist, like, they get a verse in the song.
Rap is becoming a lot more pop lately.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I think, so I was talking about, the roots of genres earlier, and, like, what the purposes were. And, like, punk is anti-establishment. That's pretty easy to see if you look at a lot of the original punk bands. Metal is generally about aggression and expressing aggression. Rap is generally about experiences and sharing experiences. Country is sort of weird.
It's like either sappy or it's bro truck.
Because country can encompass a lot of things because it came out of basically the blues, and blues is, so you can see a lot of the same core for country and blues, but you can also get bro country, which is more pop than it is country.
See,
not too much into the new bro pop country.
Some of country's turning into rap. They're actually just rapping in the country songs.
Yeah. And then you have rap turning into country now with
right.
I'm
Old Town
Road. My horse to the Old Town Road.
Yeah, that's
and truthfully, before before that even came out, there was a couple of artists that instead of singing their verses, they would just speak quickly.
Colt Ford
is one of them.
Yeah. Well, that's
there's
kind of,
there's an artist out there
that we were talking about.
Yeah.
They don't exactly rap. They just talk fast.
Yeah, there's an artist that I really enjoy a lot of his music, but every once in a while he releases that one song.
They don't have a defined genre.
They definitely
that's why they fall under alternative.
Well, originally people were calling them schizophrenic pop. I love that.
I like that.
It's
I
still
can
called
dig
that.
I feel like that fits very well because I would not call them alternative.
They did like that. It was actually really funny.
Oh, they know.
What's funny is the first time I actually heard them say it was, for some reason they were in a random town doing a series of shows, and they were just sort of bumming around one day, and they somehow had learned that these two little girls like 10 or 11 or 12 years old had this YouTube channel where they would just talk about random music and stuff, and they found their house and did an interview with them. So these little girls are interviewing 21 Pilots just randomly as 21 Pilots is just bumming around town, just waiting to do their show.
That's pretty cool.
Those two little girls their channels probably exploded after.
Yeah, because 21 Pilots is unfathomably popular.
And it was back when they were excessively popular.
Yeah.
When they it was literally a couple of months right after Blurryface got big.
Before Heathens was played on every station,
it was before Heathens, but after Blurryface.
I got sold on car radio. As soon as I heard that one, I was like, I fuck with them.
There was a song that they had on a commercial in 2011, and I heard that song. I'm like, I like this song. I want to see who this is, and then I knew about 21 Pilots from that moment on.
Right, there is some. I mean, even after the overplaying of 21 Pilots, certain songs, I do still enjoy listening to some of their music just because of.
And the thing is,
unique.
Whatever songs
is still stuff I listen to all the time.
And it's not stuff that's played on the radio very often.
Whatever songs from 21 Pilots they're playing on the radio now, you can always go back to what they used to overplay on the radio, and it's still a good song.
I don't really like the new album that they put out that much.
Me neither.
Personally.
Trying to think of songs on the new album. They're about half of them I think are pretty good. The other half are not really my style. The thing is, you mentioned Car Radio.
Yeah,
and
that's
their
best album.
Car Radio, I think is a decent song, but it's not really in my vein because when I listen to it, it seems more like rap. Because I was talking about, the purposes of genres. It's very more rap because it's more about an experience he had and expressing, what he was going through during that experience.
Well,
because the song is
of other songs do the same
like
thing.
A slam poem in a way.
Yeah,
it is, and that's kind of what I
is.
associate pure rap with being, is sort of slam poetry to a beat.
That's kind of how Eminem does it, because
you don't say.
No. There's a bunch of different ways that rappers do their style and all of that, but the first example I thought of was Eminem because of the way that he paces his words and the way that it flows. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And there are a lot of other rappers that do it that way too.
He is I even like Eminem for the way he rhythmically throws out his words to.
Yeah, that's.
And it's some of them sound the same. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, all his music sounds the same. Well, if you don't listen to it all the time, a lot of music is going to sound very similar.
It also comes down to we've said something about rap over and over again, even before we started recording. It's kind of the genre that is easy to relate to if you've experienced a lot of similar things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that don't really like rap, I've noticed are well, no offense, but I can tell you really haven't been through anything like this.
Yeah.
Correct.
The stuff he's talking about and rapping about is experiences that you have to know about to appreciate.
I have noticed that people who listen to rap have a larger tendency to get stuck only in that genre.
Yeah.
Than people who listen to other genres. That is I'm not saying most or even a fair number of them do get stuck in that genre, but more in rap than other genres.
Mm-hmm.
Except maybe gospel or something on the more religious side.
Yeah, I've only been listening to it recently because I enjoy some of them, like I said, but I primarily like my favorite genre is like alternative or indie, but I started to listen to just that so much that I got sick of it. So I'll like some days I'll put on country and just listen to that solely.
Well, I will say that
switch it up.
Rap moving more into the pop realm and moving into some of the country realm and country moving some into the rap realm. I think that's pulled a lot of people who were exclusively into the rap genre into other genres and starting them to listen to other things. Because I've been seeing this is how we actually started the conversation earlier today. Is I was watching all throughout this week just rappers or people who exclusively listen to rap reacting to metal music or
I've seen country.
Well,
a lot of people react to country.
So and James was saying that too, but I didn't see any of those because I'm into metal. So I'm sitting here like looking up like Nightwish songs and stuff on YouTube, and I ran into rappers listen to Nightwish for first time, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be freaking amazing.
This ought to be good.
Well, I don't listen to country much. I love those reactions because I know that personally it takes a good country song for me to be like, okay. Yeah. So I see people reacting to them and they're like, well, this seems like I would like it, but I don't, and I'm confused.
Well, the reason why I like those reactions is because I listen to a lot of Nightwish. So when they're just like, okay, we're gonna listen to Nightwish for the first time, let's listen to Ghost Love Score, and I'm just like, oh, I know exactly what parts your brain is going to freaking explode at.
Yeah.
So
right. Well, and there was so we were talking a little bit about this guy. I could tell that he listens to mostly rap. Just by the way he talks and the way he acts and stuff like that. I don't know much about this guy, but he's been told by other people he should try to listen to some country music and this, that, and the other. And I gave you the one example was "Don't Take the Girl," and if anybody in this room knows "Don't Take the Girl,"
I love.
It's a very sad song.
That's like the first country song I ever knew by name.
Right, and then I saw
the first one I probably knew by name was Thunder Rolls.
The Thunder Rolls.
Yeah,
that's a Garth
too.
But there's another one I just remembered that he did a review on that I think you might get a kick out of was Old Red.
Ooh.
You know, the Blake Shelton song Old Red?
Yeah.
The whole time he's like, man, he's all up in jail and he's all trying to take care of this dog and he caught his wife with another man. It cost him $99. What does that mean? Well, he caught his wife with another man, so it cost him 99 years in jail because he done killed them all.
Yeah.
But
25
the last line of the song is, love got me in here, but love got me out. So basically he uses the dog that he's able to train,
right,
introduces it to a female dog, and instead of, when he runs, instead of the dog going after him, he's going to look for his girlfriend in the other direction.
Yeah.
I think good country is always telling a story.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that's Old Red is a very good storytelling song.
The good country is always telling a story, and they a lot of that comes from the blues side of it, because that's how blues was. It was always like, I'm going through this situation. Here's how I got from A to B. Here's all the stuff in between. It's a story about someone's life in some way. So, I think blues and rap share that. Honestly, it's music about experience. And I think that's actually one of the reasons why rappers and country musicians have been sort of crossing genres so much, because the subject matter of their songs is so similar. It's just a matter of the background noise.
Right.
I think country and I instantly think Tennessee Whiskey. I think that's...
Love that song. I love Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton. And truthfully, Luke Combs is growing on me more and more too.
Me too, yeah.
I feel like there's a split. There's a lot of stars that are just kind of like the pop country, the bro country, but then every now and then, no matter what, they still put out a song here and there that is just okay, that's real country.
Well, and there's a lot of artists, and I'm going to name a few artists. I love their early stuff, but as they became popular, they tend to they tend to try to push to the popular music. So you're looking at like Kenny Chesney's old stuff. I love his older stuff. The stuff where he turned into freaking the I Want to Be on a Beach and Hawaiian style.
Yeah, they always do that.
And then who else is it like? So Florida Georgia Line, when they first came out, I thought their sound was great. Yeah. The more they,
I was gonna say, even Florida Georgia Line puts out a real country song every now and then.
Right, but
they do have some bad ones though.
The new stuff is starting to become more poppy, which I don't like in my country. I love pop music. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like pop in my country.
That's another thing we were talking about earlier. Was when people who don't listen to a genre think about a genre that they don't listen to, they always think about it in terms of the worst thing out of that genre.
What makes them not like the genre?
Right. So, like, people who don't listen to rap basically just associate rap with, like, my money and my bitches and my rims, and that's every song, according to them.
That's what my mom says.
Right?
That is what my mom says about it.
Right, exactly. So people who don't listen to a genre always associate with the worst thing. So, like, people who don't listen to metal always associate metal with just death and gore and just screaming about nothing.
And there are
people who don't listen to country just always think it's about I lost my dog in my truck.
There are artists in every genre that steer into the skid, though. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a metal band called Infant Annihilator, and there are artists in every one of those genres that are nothing but those bad things. And my example from metal was actually Cannibal Corpse. For some reason, it's popular, and it exemplifies all the worst things about metal that people who don't like metal don't like.
Right. Well, I used to know this girl who I asked, like, oh, what's your favorite genre of music? She's like, country. I love country. I listen to it all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't like country. Like, personally, like, I don't know much about it, but who's your favorite? Like, oh, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
She was country for,
she was country.
But, yeah, everybody always... And then after that, I realized there's a lot of girls who love country music because of Taylor Swift.
Right.
But I don't
that's less liking the genre and more liking Taylor Swift
on Z100 stations,
right?
Which is not country stations.
And it's
well, Taylor also made her point when she switched.
Yeah.
She goes, I am going to stop focusing on this country style music and start focusing on music a little more to her, the style she wanted to go to, which was
Taylor Swift is a little weird because she started off in country, went to pop, then tried kind of going to rap, and yeah, right.
Yeah.
She did that for an album.
Dude, Miley Cyrus was in country for a minute.
She was.
Yeah, she well.
And the thing is,
she started. Okay,
that
so
for
Miley, it started with Miley because she was Hannah Montana, so she had to be the poppy.
Well, not just that. I mean, her godmother is Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
I know. I'm getting there. Hold on, I'm getting there. But she got her start in the poppy stuff because of Disney.
Oh, yeah.
But once you realize who her dad is and know the one song that her dad is popular for, everybody's like, that is true country. And then you realize that her godmother is freaking Dolly Parton, and that is true country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, she does have those roots behind her, and if you listen to a bunch of her songs, like The Climb,
oh, yeah.
And then a couple other songs. She actually did a version of Jolene.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a really
and the thing is that shows her. That shows everybody her real roots were actually in country music, but she just went with what was popular and what could get her publicized.
The thing is, she went to through a fair number of genres because she went through country and pop and rap. And,
yeah, because she had many.
And the thing is, you can choose any one of those phases that she went through, and you can probably find at least a couple of good songs she did within that genre.
If I'm being honest, Miley Cyrus is insanely talented, in my opinion.
Absolutely,
she is.
Her
she
voice
is insanely
so
talented,
distinct, and you can always tell when she's singing, no matter what genre, that this is Miley Cyrus right now.
I do dare to say though, I think her younger sister Noah is a better singer than she is.
I've only heard a couple of stuff from her. Now,
I've only heard a couple. I've heard a fair number of songs from Noah. I don't like a lot of them, but I like her style of singing, and the songs from her that I do like, I really like.
So we're
going
to talk about.
Do you think she'll ever get to the point of being up to Miley?
I don't think so, but I don't think that's really what she's aiming for.
Well, I don't think so either.
Here's the thing: is if she wanted to be, she could, because I know Miley would back her, and as soon as Miley backs her, she'll just. I
have the feeling that the reason why Miley isn't backing her and why her dad Billy Ray isn't backing her and like a bunch of people aren't backing her is because she doesn't want them to.
Right.
Yeah. You think back to her others, like yes, she's like in all these different like genres, but her own brother was in Metro Station, so
right.
It's also that.
I don't even know if anybody else here knows who Metro Station is.
I have no idea who Metro Station is.
Really?
They're pretty obscure, I would say. I know Metro.
Are they
Station.
Texas fans?
But I mean,
no. I love them. There is something that I like steered off of, like because I'm not going to listen to the same thing you guys listen to. Because I mean,
that's the point of everybody being here. None of us listen to the same stuff.
I think me and him probably have the most similar roots.
And probably me and Harrison probably have the most similar
And I'm
taste.
away from both of you guys because you were saying how you usually start with what you grow up with. So I was mostly, I want to say like 90% Spanish music.
Mm-hmm. Which is amazing. English. I mean, I've listened to some great Spanish because when I lived in California, when I lived in the mariachi stuff, the mariachi stuff, I love that stuff.
Is it just me when you said Spanish music, the first thing my brain goes to is Shakira? Is there? Am I the only one that did that?
Selena,
yeah.
I was thinking more like Enrique,
Enrique. Well, the thing is
Ricky Martin.
Yeah, see, the thing is when she says Latino music, everybody else thinks of the popular pop stuff.
Latino
now, when I think of it, I think of it because I had a best friend
is trying to get it up. But the thing is, Ozzy, he showed me Molotov.
Yes. Oh my God, Molotov is crazy good because it's a mix between Spanish and English, and it's a rap music.
Yeah, I would love to listen to that. That sounds interesting.
We should after we're done with this, we should probably listen to some of these songs. We're not going to be showing each other music all day.
Tangent after
she got me into this rap song. It's a Spanish song, but it has Snoop Dogg in it too.
No way!
Snoop Dogg raps in Spanish. It's actually really
wait. He raps in Spanish.
Yes,
it's actually really cool.
His Spanish,
like, not gonna lie.
He loves corridos and like cumbias, and he loves the Spanish culture. So
I'm just trying to think about his laid back way of rapping, but in Spanish.
He learned the Spanish parts of this song because I got him into this song. I was like, you need to listen to this song. He's like, what is it? I'm like, just listen to it. He's like, Snoop Dogg.
Like I was saying, though, it's like everybody else's perception of Latino music, they think of Selena and
well, yeah, the
Enrique. But when I think of Spanish music, I had a friend, Ozzy, in California, who around his house, it was nothing but the old mariachi type stuff. The boom, 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 boom.
Well, you know how
that stuff where it's almost polka, but it's the Spanish guitars.
Yeah,
dude, that shit is great.
And you know when you say that, it does seem to have a really polka bass.
Like, it does because of the deep bass. The way.
And the thing is, now that I'm thinking about it, even if you go to like South America and you go to like the Peruvian like pan flute bands and things,
it's a very vibe.
Yeah, they still seem very polka
based.
Yeah.
But the thing is that's the stuff that when I go over to his house, his mother would be blaring it.
Well, you know how
because they didn't have TV, they didn't have cable.
Yeah.
They just freaking had this giant radio in the middle of the living room. His mom would put a CD had the 5-disc CD changer and put 5 CDs in there, and that's exactly cooking and cleaning and doing stuff around the house. And I'd be like, "This shit's great." Hell yeah, we can really get down to this shit.
Oh yeah, that's the best way to clean. If you're not blaring some Spanish music, I know people that don't listen to don't know the language and still say it's better to clean with it just
because everything has a certain pace to it. In that genre of music, it's a certain if you start working to it, it's like, man, shit just gets done. You just start pacing yourself in the beat of the music, and it's just like, damn. Next thing you know, you're done. I'm like, but I still want to listen to that music, so I'm gonna leave that on for a little bit.
You know how bands are very important for the high schools and middle schools, all over
marching bands.
Yeah, those are very popular in schools.
Yeah.
Well, my school had top of the top bands, but we also had Top of the Top Mariachi. So that was another program in our school.
Oh, see, in my
And
school.
Okay, so yeah, in a lot of our schools out here, they'll do marching band and jazz band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we did not do anything jazz. It was all mariachi.
Well, so
yeah.
you got to think about
Yeah.
the difference in the
That's
areas.
interesting,
Right.
though.
Yeah, so that's
So
actually
much
really cool. So for anyone who isn't from either Texas or the St. Louis area, leave a comment. What alternative to marching band did your school offer?
So
Actually,
in
yeah.
California,
Yeah.
they also had
I-
they did band and then orchestra.
Right.
Really?
Oh,
So-
that was how it was when I lived in
Yeah,
Texas.
we didn't do
We
jazz
didn't call
band.
it
We had
orchestra,
choir.
which is quite choir.
Well, choir was
Choir.
it's a little different.
Yeah, we had
but
a choir.
We had a
Orchestra
choir
wasn't
too.
choir.
But the
It
thing
was
is,
choir.
they had a
It's like jazz.
band.
Yeah,
They had the
I'm saying what
marching
we
band,
had.
and then they had an orchestra. So it was a full blown like classical music orchestra in California. So
Yeah.
like they had the violins and the cellos and
That's
all
actually
that.
really neat.
Dude, it was great because I can't say I love classical music. I don't mind classical music because it's like it shows you a lot of where music that we see now came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you know, what is it? The Flight of the Bumblebee and some of
Yeah.
Beethoven and Bach
The
and
stuff.
Yeah,
that-
the classical
the
symphonic
stuff that once
stuff. Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, I don't know any of that. The second you play it, yeah, that's and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
of
know
course
that.
I've heard that. And,
Yes,
you know,
it's the
and
basic
when I
stuff.
say things that are ridiculous, like Hungarian Rhapsody, number 2 in G minor or whatever the hell
Yeah,
it is.
no,
And-
nobody
and-
knows
and-
what that
and
is.
the thing is,
Nobody.
everyone goes, "I've never heard that." And it's like, have you ever heard the dueling pianos from the Looney Tunes? You've heard Hungarian Rhapsody number 2.
Right.
Like it's.
Right, and the thing is most of the stuff that like Bach and them wrote, they didn't have names to the songs. They just named it their
They
concerto.
there weren't names of the songs. They were movements in larger.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Dude, I think Dies Irae is pretty hype.
what?
I didn't even.
Well, and
understand.
okay,
what you
so-
just said.
I don't know any of that. What the hell?
So we're gonna
Dies Irae?
we're gonna
You don't know
move
that song?
we're gonna
No.
You
move
know that song.
Do I?
Yeah.
Is it a
Sing it.
classical song?
Sing
It's,
to me.
I'm not singing it.
It's probably from,
it's
like, a
it's a
video game.
classic. No,
Well,
it's
sing it.
dude. Like, no, I'm not gonna sing it.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
we-
we were talking about Miley and how broad like
Oh,
her
yeah.
spectrum of stuff is, but there's another band / singer out there that did the same thing.
Oh, lots of them.
So anybody knows who Darius Rucker is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
Darius
Oh, yeah.
Rucker is a country singer,
Sorry.
but what people don't understand is that before he was in a band called Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh yeah.
But even before that, he did try his hand in country music in Nashville.
Yeah. He
Oh,
just
really?
he couldn't get big.
He couldn't get big because he is a man of color,
Right.
and country
I'm
music.
pretty sure he's a black guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
he's a
saying.
black guy.
So
He is a man of color.
James,
Well, I'm pretty
you
sure
can have
he's
the
black.
N-word pass.
I
You're
can
not
have-
allowed.
I can
You're
have
not allowed
that
to
pass.
say color.
Dude, I just
Racist.
gave James the N-word pass. So
anyway,
Wow.
so because he
Wait,
was a
wait,
black man.
No, I just realized is Devin the only person in here that isn't a person of color?
Yes.
technically, yeah.
Really?
On a
Why do you think I
technical,
got
yes.
the white supremacist haircut to let y'all know what's going on?
I feel the privilege.
Yeah.
It's emanating.
And
Darius Rucker tried his hand at country music, but because he was a black man trying to do country music, it didn't work out. He found a band with the Blowfish, and they started creating like a rock alternative style music, and he became big. I mean, everybody knows who Hootie and the Blowfish is.
I can't think of a single Hootie and the Blowfish song,
But you know who
but
they
I know
are.
who they are.
Yeah, like
Well,
I can't think of the
that's-
name of
that's-
any
I've
of
heard
them.
of them
I
on
know a lot of
conversation.
them.
Never heard of them.
I
That's
know,
who they
but the
are,
thing is, if
because-
after this, I'll play a couple Hootie songs, and then
Yeah,
you'll
I
be
couldn't-
like,
I couldn't
"Oh
name them.
God,
They're
yeah."
I
very
know
popular.
them.
I'm
I
pretty
wouldn't
sure
know
Hootie
the
they're
name.
and the
not.
Blowfish. I
They're
know what
very,
it is
very
because I
popular.
like Darius
There's a lot of their
Rucker.
songs that are
Although that's
pretty
actually interesting because
I really might
since
not.
you're from down south,
Yeah.
so I don't know how popular Hootie and the Blowfish was in that region.
I mean,
I'm just saying, Blowfish sounds cool in any title, but I'm just saying, I do not know who that is.
It was so cool. It meant nothing to me when I was in middle school because I didn't know who he was at the time. But like later on, I really loved Darius Rucker. I was at an Astros game and I got to see him perform at it, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I really didn't. Yeah. I knew of Hootie and the Blowfish, but I didn't really care until I heard Darius Rucker like Wagon Wheel, and then I was like, I know this guy. And they were like, yeah, it's Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. And I'm like, oh, no kidding, I like this. This is good. He does have
one of those voices. That
it's a pretty recognizable
So does anyone here get into any kind of Asian music?
K-pop?
I mean...
K-pop is an Asian
I'll listen
music.
to like...
I watch anime.
I watch anime too.
We should have brought our niece on because she's huge into K-pop.
She's huge into K-pop, but yeah.
Brenna's
she's huge into K-pop. She's like a K-pop wall.
Then we could have had like a whole conversation about this at Six Flags. I love K-pop too.
Yeah, and when I say K-pop wall, I think it's like her whole room.
Like BTS?
Yeah.
That's her favorite band.
Nice.
That is her absolute favorite band. Sam went out of his way to get her tickets to a BTS concert.
That's super cool.
And
he had to go out of his way to do it.
And sat through the concert. But Sam also fought to get tickets to Taylor Swift and sat through Taylor Swift concert for his daughter.
That's
the only concert I've been to besides Panic at the Disco was Chris Stapleton.
I've been to so many concerts.
So I went to a Tool concert. So the reason why I brought up Asian music is because Asian music is a very broad. Like people think about K-pop or they think about just old school strings and things.
I love some of the old school strings from the old Chinese martial arts movies. I love that.
People think about that stuff and they think about K-pop or J-pop.
I just think anime.
I used to be into Love
Live.
Well, and here's the thing. I went to a Tool concert years ago. It was the first time that Tool had been back in St. Louis.
Oh man!
And it was probably the most boring Tool concert because Maynard just stood by the exit, hoping that there wouldn't be a giant earthquake and everything would fall on him. Which is a weird thing that Maynard had going on at the time. But they had their intro band there that came out before them, and it was a Japanese sort of industrial style kind of punk band.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Called Melt Banana.
Melt Banana.
And I had never heard them before, and they were great, and it got me into a lot of the rock and metal scene in Japan. So that's one of the ways that me and some of my friends got into. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, Baby Metal.
Oh, amazing! Love Baby Metal.
And Baby Metal is always one of my big things where it reminds me how much metal blends genres.
Oh, for
because
sure.
That's J-pop mixed together with metal music, and I think about some of my favorite bands like Nightwish, which is opera and symphony plus metal music, and things like nu metal, which is an entire genre of rap plus metal.
Yep, and it's spelled N-U, so it's edgy as.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why the first people in nu metal were called like a Edgy McEdgelord, and
yes, because they were.
I was going to get into that too because of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yep.
Adding electric guitars to a standard orchestra.
Yeah, and blending genres is some of my favorite stuff, which is probably why I like mashup songs so much, where they take more than one song, mash them together.
Oh, mashup songs!
I love mashup songs,
especially if they're like completely different genres and
yes.
they fit well. Those are
really cool. I've heard some really good mashups with like country and rap or country and rock and roll.
Like I
remember I showed you guys that anime one, right?
Honestly,
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I love that mashup.
But my favorite mashup artists are like DJ Earworm. He does a mashup for the year.
Yeah.
He at the end of every year he takes the top 100 songs of the year and he mashes them all together.
Yeah, I remember every year at the end of the year, I'd be like, "All right, we got some good songs this year. This is going to be interesting."
I love DJ Earworm and Mad Mix Mustang. He does some really good mashup work.
So at the beginning of every Rizzuto show before the show starts, if you listen to it live, Patrico does a mashup song every morning.
Well, that's because Patrico's a DJ too.
Well, and he's been starting to do his own his own music now. So all their on the show, anytime they go from like a commercial back into them talking again.
Oh, I'm sorry. We just got super distracted.
What the hell was that?
Jay just like humiliated him.
What the hell was that?
Did you just snail him? Is that what just happened? I had an audible snort there. I'm sorry, guys.
No, this is why we need a camera.
I was doing a turkey too. I was gonna be like, man.
Because, man,
it's
been like 5 years since I've even remembered that existed.
If we ever get a camera, they're just gonna see me like not paying attention. I don't like
But
that.
they'll see Wobbuffet. But they don't see Wobbuffet.
That's some of the funniest stuff. Like, every now and then, we were just talking about the Rizzuto show. The Rizzuto show sometimes does live video of...
They do it every morning now.
Yeah,
it's
on
live,
their
so you
Instagram.
can watch them live on YouTube
and Instagram,
every morning.
usually. Yeah.
But they don't keep it on because it's 4 hours worth of, or it's about 2.5 hours worth of content. But it's 4 hours worth of them on the radio.
Time, yeah.
And they actually keep
From
the
6
cameras
to 10.
going even in between while they're on commercial. So you get to watch what they do while the radio
The
station
music's
is at
playing.
commercial. They don't play too much music at all anymore in the morning.
They just
Yeah,
talk.
no.
They never really did.
They used to have to put a certain number of songs in their shows, but finally the
Rizzuto show's popular enough now that people are straight up listening because they want to hear the
Riz
Rizzuto show.
pushed, and the producers were like, "Fine, no more music. You don't have to do any more music. It's just 4 hours of you guys." It comes out to about 2.5 hours after commercials and everything.
Because they podcast it, and that's how long the podcast
But
usually is.
the thing is that now their comeback music after a commercial, it's all Patrico's own
Really?
stuff.
That's cool.
So he actually got divorced, and now he's kind of living on his own, and he needed something to do, and he's always been a DJ who loves to play with music, so he takes a bunch of samples or some of his own stuff and he puts together re-entrance music or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Whatever they call it. I forget.
I forget what they call it too.
But you guys know what I'm after a commercial, yeah.
So
that's all
Our
his
viewers
stuff
will never
now.
forgive you two for not knowing what that was called.
I don't know. We don't have that crap on
Bumper
you.
music.
Bumper
You
music,
remember what
yeah.
music is though?
Huh?
Music
You know
podcast.
Yeah,
We're kind of talking
Do you
about
think
music.
Dude, you weren't
Podcast
even
fit
paying
into
attention 15 seconds ago.
Yes,
You
You
I
got
didn't know
snailed
that
like
stuff.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, you just
So-
got
Do
snailed,
you want to tell
bro.
people what snailing is? Because I'm pretty sure there's somebody that will
sounds
not.
If you
know.
if you don't know what it is, I don't know if we can describe it in a
So
way
when
that would
somebody,
make sense.
When somebody goes to give you a fist bump and you
And instead of one of them
Fist
bumping,
bumping back.
they just take 2 fingers and sneak it underneath you, and it makes your hands look like snails.
looks
together.
like a snail.
It's
Yeah.
the best.
And it's humiliating.
It's
Somebody
so-
does that. You can also squirrel them. You can just squirrel.
It's-
Yeah, that's the one.
So
I,
anyway,
No, I knew turkey.
Yeah, that
Where you
one.
do the high five, and then right before you just close your fist with the finger. So you have
I
Anyways,
wonder if Walgreens
back to
has
music.
an index of
back to
solitaire.
music. I say we started to get into a little bit of the orchestra stuff, but I mean, really, outside of Latino Spanish music, what other kind of music do you listen to, Jay?
I listen to a little bit of everything. I like throwbacks though. That's my main thing. I
Yeah,
listen to
I
anything
think I live-
early 2000s, anything.
I live in the '90s and early 2000s, pretty much. When
That
it
was a
comes to
very
music genre.
epic era for a lot of people. Very nostalgic. Very.
Well,
But
and
just
they
the
were
fact
talking
that-
about that on the Riz show, like the late '90s, from '94 to like '98.
Back when MTV was actual music television.
Right. Well, the grunge alternative music scene for those couple of years was like epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people.
I mean, if you look at some of the
Wanna
stuff
hold
that
on
was
to
released
that,
in
'cause-
'94, I mean, Green Day's Dookie. I mean,
There's a lot of albums that really, like, boomed up. They were still around before then, but like between those years, 94 and 98, that's when a lot of bands that are popular in whatever their genre is now started. That's when they actually showed up and everybody started to notice them a lot.
Right,
you know?
right.
I mean, Nirvana, I think one of Nirvana's albums was released in freaking 94.
Yeah.
94. I think it was, what was it, Nevermind or whatever.
It was the one with,
I think Nevermind was 96.
But
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Nirvana making it really big is what got a lot of the punk scene popular. So like, it's what right. It was around before then, but like Nirvana's the reason why like people have heard of like Bad Religion, because Bad Religion was a band all the way through the 80s. No one knew who they were. Nirvana comes out, and then Bad Religion finally gets a record deal.
Yeah.
Right.
It popularized
Nirvana, Green Day.
Yeah.
Those were so Nirvana introduced what I consider grunge music.
Okay.
Which is what it is.
Right. And then Green Day introduced the world to punk music. But they're not the best punk band out there. I'm not ever going to say that.
They don't actually really exemplify punk that well.
No,
really. But they...
Or at least they didn't. They actually exemplify it better now than
they
did
before.
And
but the thing is that
now,
having Green Day release Dookie, and then all of a sudden these punk bands that were popular but weren't like super popular, all of a sudden became over the top popular, like Blink-182 and some of the really good punk bands, because of Green Day's success. Accelerated their success.
Green Day evolved punk into more like pop punk, which is honestly a lot more popular than punk ever was.
Yeah.
True.
I give you guys mad props for actually remembering years. You guys are saying,
I only know
this
the
year
years.
and this year. I'm over here like, I have no idea when anything came out.
I only know the years because of
remembering certain years.
For
certain years, it gets kind of weird. So like, I know a lot of the years that like Slipknot albums came out, because all I have to do is start with their first album that wasn't actually an album, which was Made, Feed, Kill, Repeat, which is 95. And I know that because it was 2 years before the 97 demo, which has its year right in it. Mm-hmm. So that's easy to remember. And then 2 years after the 97 demo is when their self-titled album comes out. The next year, you get the Digipack, which is a re-version of the self-titled album. And then you get Iowa, which is the next year. So it's just a really easy timeline to remember, because in the beginning you have the 97 demo, which is the second thing.
Once bands get contracts, it's easy to remember when their albums come out, because they're contractually required to release albums every couple of years now.
Or they're told you have to release 3 albums before this date.
Before this contract is up.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk about music. What is one collab of like anybody that you would like actually want to hear?
That doesn't exist
yet.
That doesn't exist yet. Or at least as far as we know doesn't exist yet. Hell, that's probably the most difficult music question I've heard in a long time.
Mine's real easy.
What's that?
If Garth Brooks were to do something with like any good old school rock and roll band. So if he were to ask Bob Seger or even a Peter Cetera or anything like that era with Garth Brooks, I think would be spectacular, because really if you look at what Garth Brooks is and where his influences are, and I know a lot about Garth because he's my favorite all-time artist. I've done a lot of research on where he came from, and I've watched a lot of documentaries, and I know the kind of stuff he's into. I think if he was able to do stuff with some of the older rock and roll guys, I think not only would he be hyped about it, I think the music that came from it would be absolutely amazing.
That'd be pretty good.
So
I say that because of like going back to like that whole Snoop Dogg with it's Banda MS, but it's like a complete band. So it just took me off guard when they made that, and then there's the Ozzy Osbourne new song that came out with Post Malone.
I was thinking, I like
that's actually not a bad song.
Oh, I love Ozzy Osbourne. I love Post Malone, and Ozzy. Just hearing him was like amazing.
I have a great appreciation for Post Malone, but I think for me my answer would be I don't know who it would be, but Ozzy to do something else with somebody not Post Malone, I feel like would be really good, because that's mashing up two different genres. It was a fantastic song. I listened to it all the time when it was brand new coming out last summer, but
so
I love Ozzy and I want to hear him do a lot more with anybody, honestly.
Yeah. I have a pretty long wish list of this, actually. And I think me and Devin had a weird conversation about this one day when I was showing him weird, obscure, like extremely good, like individual musicians.
It was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, so I was showing him things like Victor Wooten, which I'm pretty sure Harrison's heard Victor Wooten, right? No, I could have swore you and me talked about Victor Wooten one day.
Maybe we did.
So Victor Wooten is a really, really good bass player. So he's a really good bass player. Eric Mongrain, which is a really, really good guitarist. I would love to see the two of them get together and do something, because they're in kind of different styles, but they run at like the same pace, so they're both very, very quick. And I think they could probably bust something out that'd be really, really interesting. And then maybe, like, if you want to add in drums, Tony Roessler Jr., that really young kid that plays that huge drum set. So I think if you stuck the three of them in a room together and left them there for a week, I think they would come out with something really, really cool. But like, if I wanted to like see like bands just like get together and see what the hell happens, I would love to see like Nightwish and Opeth just hang out for a couple of days and see what happens. Because
that could be interesting,
right? Because Floor Jensen, who's Nightwish's current lead singer, she's not quite as good as Tarja was in my opinion, but she's really, really good, and she's also a classically trained opera singer. And her hanging out with Michael Ockerfeld, I think the two of them could get some really cool vocals together.
Well, yeah, just him on his own is amazing. If he had somebody to partner with, that was just as...
And the thing is, don't get me wrong, because Nightwish has a male singer, Marco, and he is very, very good, but he's no Michael Ockerfeld.
No, I don't think that we're ever going to have another one of him like in our lifetime, because most singers can sing how many octaves?
A lot of the really, really good ones will have like 3 solid octaves that they can.
And how many does he have?
He can reach through. I think it's like 5 or 7.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have full mastery of them, but he can touch a lot of them.
Yes. His voice is like, and I'm not a huge Opeth fan. I just know Opeth through Tim.
Yeah.
But just listening to his voice, because I'm very. I don't always listen to the background music.
You're inclined to like music if you like the lyrics or the
voice
of the lyrics.
Yeah, the lyricist. Like I love Jennifer Nettles. She's from a band called Sugarland.
Oh yeah.
Because her voice is super clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also like a lot of Kelly Clarkson because her voice is clean. Trying to think of Carrie Underwood because her.
So
voice
you like a lot of the head voice stuff.
Yeah, I and
Can I
like
ask your opinion on somebody?
Who?
Lil Dicky.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows who that is.
Do you know who Lil Dicky is?
Isn't he from that TV show? No.
Well, he just made his own show.
My name is Dave.
Yeah.
My name is Dave. I've never actually heard anything except for the
because
commercials.
he's a comedy rapper.
His rap's different, but it's actually pretty good.
I haven't actually heard any of his.
I haven't heard any of
really
it except for
recommend
the stuff that's on the commercials.
He's
No.
not
It's
so much
different.
comedy in all of his music because
Oh, no.
there's a lot of his earlier stuff where he actually fucking put some bars down. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
He's-
all
I
right.
mean,
really
and,
good.
so
The thing is, if I was going to go with comedy plus music, I generally stick around like Michael Colton and like Stephen Lynch.
Currington is really good too. The country
Billy Currington.
Billy Currington.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm
God, I
saying
can't
it
remember their
because he
name
also
right now.
has a song with Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, the professional.
rapper,
Oh,
where he's like going to Snoop Dogg, like trying
For a
to,
job interview.
yeah,
Let's
like
see,
trying to
and
get
then-
signed by Snoop Dogg.
I want
There's
to
a
watch
song-
that show.
There's
Though. I
a
do want to
song
watch that show.
where it like the entire music video is about making the music video as cheap as possible.
So he goes to a bunch of famous people's homes, and he knocks on the door, and he's like,
Can we
"Yeah, can I
record
borrow
this?"
your house, or do you have like a boat that we can borrow?" Because the whole concept of this song is not to waste money. So he
It's
does a
called
whole
Save That.
music video off of it.
And it's featuring Fetty Wap. So
Fetty Wap pops out.
Dude, the
Another
Earth
rapper
song,
does too.
The Earth song.
The Earth song. There's a part where
that one
all
everybody
these,
probably
all these singers are like saying singing as if they're an animal, and then Kevin Hart comes out and he's like, and I'm Kanye West, because everybody had to choose an animal. After that, he ended up like loving the song, but yeah, I would like you to listen to him just because you like voice stuff and like.
Have you ever heard of the Arrogant Worms?
Yes, I have.
Have you heard their song Dangerous?
I don't know.
So there's a video out there of them performing Dangerous live, and I didn't realize this, but the lead singer of the Arrogant Worms, that really extremely drawn out note at the end, he can do it live. It's like a 45-second hold. It's stupid, and it's a comedy song.
That's perfect.
Well, let's say, I mean, I named off a bunch of vocalists I like, and most of them are female. Now, I'm not a huge female artist, but like, if I want to do a male artist, the lead singer for Emerson Drive is one of my favorite vocalists because he has this weird range where he can sing like really well, and then he'll go deep. Like, it's not like super deep, but I just
it's quick transitions.
Yeah,
which is very very difficult to do. So like when I was talking earlier about seeing a lot of those rappers reacting to metal music, I ran into like voice coaches and opera singers reacting to Nightwish. And the thing they commented on the most, other than the fact that at the end of Ghost Love Score, Floor holds excessively ridiculous ranges, she transitions from head voice to mixed voice to chest voice, and she can just rotate through them through lines. And she can do them very, very fast.
Well, there's a voice coach that I used to watch her do a lot of stuff, but she's British, and she's a voice coach in England.
Beth something?
Maybe, yeah.
Redhead?
Yeah. She's really good, and when I heard her do her take on Disturbed Sound of Silence,
I almost watched that video this week.
She has to. Yeah. She gets very emotional when it comes to listening to solid voices. And if you've ever heard of The Sound of Silence by Disturbed, his emotion in that is shown so well just through his voice. Yeah. And like she literally has to stop that video like 18 times to compose herself from having to
and the thing down. Is I think so if anyone's ever heard of the Big Five personality test, it's sort of a measure of like what kind of personality you have, and it can be a measure of a lot of other things too. But one of them is openness, and openness to experience can lead to high empathy. And someone who's extremely high openness to like on the creative side can actually have physical reactions to music. Yes. And there was I was watching Beth. Like you were.
She's really good.
She's pretty high in that openness, but I was watching someone else who was doing reactions to Nightwish. And I think her channel name is The Charismatic Voice.
I think that's it.
She actually started shivering during some of the really good vocal parts. She would have to pause the video and like she would shake. And one of the rappers reacting that I was watching, he was reacting to 21 Pilots, and 21 Pilots does a lot of experience-based stuff too, like rap does. So he would, Tyler would start rapping about certain things that he's gone through in his life, and he would have to pause and like get up and like excuse himself from the video because you can start to see him have a physical reaction to what he's listening to. It's actually really, really neat to see people who have that high empathic response. Yeah, listen to music.
I'm sad that I thought up like a really crazy mashup, but you guys got off the topic of it.
We can go back.
No, we can go back because I've been thinking about it this entire time.
Yeah, I thought of a really like weird one.
What is it?
It's Elton John and Kanye West.
Of course, it had to be Kanye.
Come on.
That would.
But he doesn't like Kanye though.
That would be.
I like it as a meme.
He likes Kanye as a meme, but he doesn't like Kanye.
He says that as a meme, but he'll like vibe to it, and I'll be like,
"Oh, I listen to some of Kanye's
music." Some you like directly go to him, and you know it. You're
so
like,
I like basic Kanye.
And then he'll be like, "I miss his old stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, but that doesn't disregard the fact that you still like him."
I feel like that would be cool though, because I like a lot of songs where like a rapper will come in and feature in a remix of a song rather than feature in a new song. Like Run DMC featured in a remix of "Walk This Way" by Aerosmith.
That's a good
example. That actually was very popular.
Yeah, there's not always good examples.
No, and that's the thing is, when you say that just as a broad thing, I can think of a lot of situations where that worked terribly.
Yeah.
But when you mention them doing "Walk This Way" and Aerosmith, and like that was a really good example of that working out really well.
Right.
I think
you gotta pick the right song.
Yeah,
I feel like throw like Kanye into Benny and the Jets or something. That'd be hilarious. I would enjoy the hell out of that. You want to do Kanye and Elton John, do a remix?
Well, I mean,
no, not even a remix. I want like a whole new song. Yeah. But like, I mean, it's Elton John featuring Kanye.
I mean, Elton John. The thing about Elton John is like he would be open to something like that.
Probably.
Because Elton John is pretty open to anything. I mean, he's done a lot of things in his life, and at this point in his lifetime, he's like, I'll try anything once.
So there's actually an album that Slash, everybody, you guys all know who Slash is, right?
The
Guns N' Roses.
Lead guitarist for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I know you
amazing guitar player from Guns N' Roses.
He was lead guitarist in Velvet Revolver too.
Yes, he was.
But we gotta remember, Velvet Revolver was just Guns N' Roses with the lead singer from Stone Temple Pilots.
Exactly.
Which I think worked out better in my opinion.
Except for the lead singer of the Stone Temple Pilots was an alcoholic and never showed up to any of the recordings.
All three bands are amazing.
Well,
but anyways,
just because those guys can't pick lead singers that
that
don't screw with them.
that was just a product of the time.
But Velvet Revolver was a great band because the lead singer to STP is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, I know, right?
And
He's
then having a band
to STP.
having a band as solid as GNR behind him was just
fantastic,
perfect.
Not enough people remember Velvet Revolver, though, I don't think. But anyway,
well, a lot more people.
The point I'm trying to make
a lot more
here
people
is,
know who they are.
Like
than you think.
2008, 2009ish, I think, something like that. Slash did an entire album. It was released under him, but he just did albums where he was playing while other people performed and sang.
Well, Santana did that a long time ago.
Santana and him did a song on that album, which is amazing. And there's a song on there with Fergie called "Beautiful Dangerous." It's really good. There's a song where I think he did a song with Elton John on there too.
Well, Slash did a song with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people here know who Kenny Wayne Shepherd is, but Kenny Wayne Shepherd did that too.
Mm-hmm.
Except he did his with classic blues singers, and he called it it was like Songs from the Road or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he traveled through the South to all these retired blues singers who were real big during the beginning of the blues movement and the mid blues movement, and he would just have them sing a song and he would play, and it was great.
Well, I mean, and that's just it. Is if you get a good guitar player like Santana or Slash or even Jimmy Page or Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and it doesn't matter who sings around them. If you have that great guitar player, somebody who's that good at what they do,
I'm telling you,
it's going to be amazing.
So here's the album I just found. It released in 2010. First song is Ghost featuring Ian Astbury and Izzy Stradlin. Second song, Crucify the Dead featuring Ozzy Osbourne. Third song featuring Fergie. Fourth song, Miles Kennedy. Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, Audio Slave.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell's my favorite lyricist of all time.
God.
And I was about to bring up Audio Slave too. So
yeah, because we haven't even gotten into anything from Cornell at all.
No.
Adam Levine, Lemmy, Dave Grohl, and somebody else.
Dave Grohl is good.
He did a song with Kid Rock. He did a song with M Shadows, which is.
I like Kid Rock.
M Shadows is the singer from Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
There's two songs with Miles Kennedy apparently, and then the last song is Iggy Pop.
Holy cow!
This whole album
I'm gonna have
amazing.
To find that album.
And I know he did a song with with Santana too.
One of my favorite Fall Out Boy songs has Elton John in it too.
Yeah.
Say Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Yeah, that's a good song. But I mean, we're talking about collaborations where you get any good artist together and shoot that whole list right there
Is amazing.
Yeah.
It's not like
I mean, because you name Grohl and
Yeah.
icons. Every single song
Yeah.
has at least one other icon in there other than Slash himself.
Yeah,
Some of
and,
them have two.
Man, the only person I wish he would have done something with was the from God, what is it, Limp Bizkit?
What
Fred
Durst?
Durst?
Linkin Park, yeah, Durst, or
Really?
even Linkin Park.
Chester would be awesome.
Chester,
from-
Benny.
Oh yeah.
Chester, I think, is the one I'm more thinking of.
There's
If he
actually-
would have done something with Chester,
Speaking-
I think that would have been
Speaking
phenomenal.
of Chester, there's a song that he recorded prior to his passing that was not released, but they released it like a year or so ago, and it's actually really freaking good.
Anything Chester does
Yeah,
is good.
he's
I
fantastic.
think he. I mean, a lot of people are going to rate him high on the vocals, but really, if you really think about anything he did vocally, was phenomenal. Because if you just go back,
nobody's
and
like Chris Cornell and Chester died within a month of each other, and if you ask me, there's no two people that have the most unique voice,
right,
in my opinion. But
you
you gotta
are
think,
absolutely
I was
correct.
born in '95, so Cornell and Chester were like all I knew for the first 10
Yeah.
years of my life,
Yeah.
other than Ozzy Osbourne
So
and
Ozzy's
Metallica and stuff like that.
But I mean, if you want to get all kinds of crazy with vocals, I mean, some of the people have some weird vocals. Is Rob Zombie?
I think I really like Sia's vocals.
Sia
Agreed.
does really good.
I really
And
like.
truthfully, what's his name? Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah.
He does some crazy stuff with his voice.
I
does.
Sweet Dreams Are Made of This is a great
Yeah.
cover that he did of that.
Yeah.
But, I like a lot of weird sounding vocals. Like I don't necessarily like my vocals to sound clean, just like automatically. I like gruff and stuff like that. So like Dolores
I'll say for
Riordan
myself
from
much.
the Cranberries
Okay.
is one of my favorite female lyricists. And I'm very disappointed because Bad Wolves did that cover of Zombie
Yeah.
2 years ago, and that was originally supposed to be recorded with Dolores from the Cranberries, but she died the morning they were going to record.
Really?
Yeah.
She was gonna go and meet them for the
And they're from
recording
St.
and the
Louis
video.
too, by the way.
The recording and the video.
Or
She
Bad
was
Wolves.
going to be in the video along with the recording of the song
So
itself.
speaking of,
And
of
she
Wow.
passed
fe-
away that morning.
female singers, I like the folk genre for a lot of female singers. So like Florence and the Machine,
Oh yeah.
or
Lisa Loeb.
of Monsters and Men, Anais Mitchell. I really like the all
Folk
all the,
music is great.
Folk music is great.
Yeah.
I like Ben Gibbard.
Ben Gibbard. Does anybody else really like Red Hot Chili Peppers like I do?
I used to
I
used to
like
like them
them.
an absurd amount.
I like the old Chili Peppers. Like
Not the new stuff. The new stuff's still okay.
it's
but
still
not-
okay. Don't get me wrong; they do a good job. I mean, but it's not quite the same as it
Yeah.
used to
I
be.
didn't know them until I watched the Death Note movie because of Donnie California at the end.
Oh really?
Which
Yeah.
Death Note movie?
The first one. Isn't it? It's either the first or the second, but yeah.
There's like 5 Death Note movies.
Well, no, the original. Because I'm not talking about the L ones. Like L Saves the World and all the other ones.
because they did like 3 in Japan before they did the Netflix one.
Oh, no. Netflix does not count.
That's
That
not
does
even a
not
movie,
count
that
as
was
Death
a
Note.
show.
No.
So
None of
No.
them count as Death Note. They were all awful.
Well, I mean, when I was
think
growing up, I liked it
Mary's a
because
really
I
good
had just finished
vocalist.
watching the animes and I was young, so I was like, oh
Yeah,
my
when
god.
you're a kid, you
Panic
have
is
no
just good,
like
yeah.
actual
Standards.
Like
Yeah, you have no standards.
No,
Two
babe.
different
I-
conversations
we were
going
talking-
on
I
at the
loved
same
it,
time,
but
and
yeah,
we're recording
it
it.
was-
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We were talking about this
Nobody
with
cares
somebody.
about
I was
that.
talking about this
Disco.
movie that you know about called freaking Warriors of Virtue. It's about like kangaroo samurais. I watched that movie
Oh, God.
like so many. I watched that movie like every day when I was like 6 or 7, and then I rewatched it when I was living with you. I was like 19 or 20, and I'm just like, this is awful.
Yeah.
It's so bad that I was just as entertained watching it again.
If we're going to get on the movies
how
that
was I entertained by this?
that are great when you were younger but awful now, I mean, anything Jean-Claude Van Damme did when Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and you were like, yeah, and then you get older, you're like, what the heck is this crap?
It's always fun watching those movies because you still have so much nostalgia, and there's still a very high level of enjoyment from these movies, even though you can recognize now that they're horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that same goes with, we're going to get back into music, the same goes with music. Like, a lot of the stuff that I listened to growing up, I can't quite listen to. Like, especially some of the older countries, it's like, it's just not...
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much now.
Every now and then, though, you find that song.
But then there's
those.
There are those just like in a movie. There's those absolute classics that you can listen to over and over and over again and never get tired of listening to them.
So here,
how about? Oh, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna completely take it off to a different thing. I was gonna ask, like, bringing back into movies, like soundtracks. Like, is there any soundtrack that you guys remember?
The Crow.
The Crow.
The Crow soundtrack.
The Crow soundtrack.
My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult is a great band.
Yes.
Because Guardians of the Galaxy has one of the greatest soundtracks.
Guardians of the Galaxy has a really good soundtrack. But if you've never listened to the Crow soundtrack,
I have not listened to it.
Listen to the Crow soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the greatest soundtrack of all time in any movie is Shrek 2.
No, I knew you were going to say something about
Anyway.
Shrek.
I'm sorry, I love Shrek.
Dude, Shrek 2's soundtrack
I
is so
watch it
good.
way
It is
too much.
very
all right,
For me,
hold
growing
on.
up,
I'm gonna let you finish.
All right, Kanye.
But for me, growing up, soundtracks were more of a thing than they are now. Like,
Yeah.
Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, Footloose.
Like you could make a movie iconic just by giving it the right soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I mean, just those three movies right there
Shrek
were
2
super
is the best
iconic because of the
And I think it's
music.
like the movie
got a
I
great
made you guys watch
soundtrack.
last week, Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah,
It has a great soundtrack.
it does.
I mean,
But I mean, the thing is, like, you want to talk about soundtracks. I think one of the most memorable soundtracks to me is actually the Top Gun soundtrack. Because of the music within it, it introduced me to a different style. Like, some of the older 50s, 40s and 50s music that was in it. What the...
What?
I was gonna say something stupid because he's already laughing at himself.
did he just snail himself?
Yeah, what did you do? You popped yourself over there. You're just laughing at yourself.
But
Anyway.
then again, also Grease Lightning, Grease Lightning, the movie soundtrack. I cannot concentrate with him laughing, so you just need to say what the hell is making you laugh so hard.
It's not even gonna be funny. Watch.
I don't think he can achieve speech right now. He's laughing so hard.
No.
No. Can we talk about how much the soundtrack is like make or break it in anime though?
He's actually crying.
Hey, some people are like that.
Weak. I'm kidding.
Weak.
Dude, when I laugh too hard, I cry.
Yeah, my dad does that too.
I
He's
do the same.
Are you good now? You want to say what happened, or do you
No.
want to just say it?
I was.
See, you just got him laughing again. All you had to do was think about it.
Just say it.
I'm not going to be able to finish this
I'm
podcast
not-
until you tell me what's so funny.
I don't remember.
Liar.
Liar.
He just
So
said-
I will say that probably the best movie soundtrack is probably actually Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I thought about that when I was thinking about what to lie about what I was thinking about.
Say it.
Is it podcast appropriate?
I was just thinking about Shrek.
What?
That was it.
I
Like,
told you guys it was gonna be.
That's why he started laughing
I
at himself.
told
It
you
got
guys.
funnier as it went on because we all noticed him laughing at something stupid.
His eyes cried over Shrek.
So, anyway, back to the
Such a
soundtracks.
good
You were
movie.
saying
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Dragon Ball Evolution soundtrack?
The soundtrack for Dragon Ball Evolution is just Goku when he slides his head across the top of that.
But
that
yeah,
when he's
that sound over and over again.
I'm surprised he didn't leave a line of grease on that guy.
Dude, I
Like
have to
axe,
wait like
hair-
almost
hair
like
spike
half
stuff.
a year to post that video.
I know it's there. It's there though. But but back in the day,
About
back in
Shrek?
the 80s,
Yeah.
back in the 80s and early 90s, soundtracks did make or break a movie.
Big time.
Yeah.
Like, but they also did a lot of
What about Armageddon?
Armageddon. Great soundtrack.
I walked. So I have
Combat.
lunch with my mom every day because she works like 30 seconds, or she lives 30 seconds away from my work. So like I walked in and she was watching a movie, and I can tell that it was Armageddon because it was already over and they were playing "Don't Want to Miss a Thing." I was like, "Oh, Armageddon, huh?"
Oh, dude.
Well, I mean,
So, like,
there was
Gross.
like the soundtrack for Requiem of a Dream. No one likes that movie. Everyone likes that soundtrack.
See, I don't even know
Right.
that movie.
I know the movie, but I can't.
Hey, video
Picture.
games have really good soundtracks too. Though.
Video games have
Like,
some pretty good
dude, so
soundtracks.
Video
Soundtrack,
games and
though.
anime,
Like,
so
it's
good.
kind of make or break for
like
me.
I'm going
even
to
more
tell you
than it
right
is for
now,
movies.
there's certain little tones and little small clippets of music that I hear it and automatically takes me back to when I was younger. Like anything from Final Fantasy VII, anything from Metal Gear Solid. You know, just certain sounds.
There are two particular songs from Pokemon that get stuck in my head all the time. The Pokemon Center, obviously, and then Lavender
Sonic
Town
music?
from Pokemon Red and
The
Blue.
Sonic.
Sonic is
music.
so
The
thick.
Sonic-
Oh, Sonic
yeah.
music is big time.
Just the thing is that we would play these games so often that music would
Yeah.
just become ingrained regardless.
Yeah.
Of,
Hell, I find it weird. I'll go into like a gas station and I'll hear like their like door sound is the like Sonic ring collecting sound. That's always what it sounds like to me. I don't know if it's the same sound, but it basically
it's probably
is.
real close.
And,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny.
It's just
So
enough
you,
of a
you
trigger
hear
to
you
get
hear that
going.
chime and you just expect to next hear a revving up hedgehog. It's
I
just
was like, did I just run into something?
Well, dude, and like Crush 40,
I dropped all my coins.
just like
That,
dropped all my
that's
rings.
that's the sound I heard more than anything else is me dropping all them damn coins.
Yeah,
I'd always hit
so-
something. I was
Oh, I
no
would
good at
drop
that
coins
game.
regardless.
and, you know like
I was never any good at
Kinda
that
makes-
game.
Games like
You gotta
Grand
just
Theft
get
Auto
as
have
many
very
as you
good
can. That way
soundtracks,
you
too.
you can have.
Need for Speed.
Well, like
Them
Vice
to make
City.
sacrifices.
Vice City was praised for its fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah, but didn't Vice City actually use real songs?
Yeah,
that's
all
like
do.
the
Yeah.
only they
Real
all do.
songs.
songs
Yeah, no,
as
yeah,
opposed
that's
to
why
all
it was
the
just- it was
fake
just-
ones that everything.
What I
else is
mean
used.
by that
At the
is-
time,
In fact,
Vice City had purchased the licenses for
Yeah.
more music than anything else than any of the other Grand Theft Autos had.
Yeah, the copyrighted
I know.
songs.
Yeah.
So like actually on like when I played Grand Theft Auto 5, I played it for like a lot for like 2 years, and I had like some of the rap songs on there like drilled in my head, and I actually like remember those because of that game, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually like them because of the game too. I'm pretty
I've
sure.
been playing wrestling games since I was like 6 years
I
old,
think
and there's
that's where I
so
was-
much music
Oh,
that I know
yeah.
specifically, like bands that I'm
Entrance
into
music?
now because of
The
songs that
wrestling
were
game.
included on wrestling
Oh.
games or
Madden
Superstars
games,
Sports
too.
games,
Yeah.
Madden,
Madden has
yeah, all
I
big
remember
time
like the
like
Madden
that.
06 game has like there's this one like pop punk song. Actually, no, I think it's a Green Day song, but I only know it because I know American Idiot because of a Madden game.
Right. Well, and that's just it. It's
Man,
like
that's crazy. How
a
old
lot
were
of
you
the-
when American Idiot came out, though?
I don't know when it came out, but
Like
that's when I heard it. It was
2003?
2004 when that was on the Madden 2004 is what I remember.
So how
hearing
old
that
were
on.
you in Madden when you were?
3.
Dang.
When Madden 04 was out, I was 3.
Yeah, I was in like 5th grade listening to American Idiot and Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
I remember those songs, of course, but
Yeah.
like I just
I thought Boulevard was on.
It's a different album, yeah.
Yeah, I said Boulevard
the
of
album
Broken
that-
Dreams is on. I
Yeah.
thought that was on their original Dookie soundtrack.
No.
Which one?
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
No.
Boulevard's like its own album.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm getting all of my their albums
they
mixed
have
up in
another
there
album that
somewhere.
has both of those songs stringed together in like 9 minutes.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams is like the same album as like Wake Me Up When September ends.
Okay, that's the like second or third.
Holiday.
Yeah, their second or third album. Yeah.
That's mostly considered by people like my age to be their best album, but I prefer Dookie.
Same.
I prefer Dookie, but that's the one that
because that's what I know about Green Day because of Dookie.
Dookie was actually my first CD.
Really?
Yeah, we used to sit in my neighbor's. My neighbor was my best friend growing up. But we used to sit in his basement, and he'd put it in the CD player. We just sit and have it blaring while we were playing video games or doing whatever we were doing.
I used to remember when we worked at. I mean, this is years after that point, but whenever we worked on at Jack in the Box together, every now and then, I Hope You Have the Time of Your Life came on, and we'd all be just belting that out while we're
Dude, we had so much stuff though, because between me and Brendan, we used to play a lot of country music, but it's like every
now
and
then, like Chris would throw something on, and that would be like the alternative, and then I'll throw something on, and it'd be like Korn and Slipknot and stuff like that.
So that's the way I feel now at Domino's.
That playlist has like I know like all the songs on that playlist.
So to outro today's episode, should we play like Closing Time?
Banger playlist.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I always wanted a restaurant so that whenever it was closed, I would put that song.
I actually used to frequent a bar that did play that every night. When they would turn on the last call light, they would start playing Closing Time.
Mm-hmm.
So every other bar that I've ever gone to, we always ended up. Well, I shouldn't say every other bar, but some of the bars I used to go, they always ended on a Garth Brooks song.
Really?
It was Friends in Low Places.
That's such a great song.
I don't really think of that as a wind down song. Though.
It's not. That's like I'm about to go to the bar song is more like it.
That's how we used to close the bar. Well, the bar right across the street from my mom's restaurant we used to go to every night. So 2 nights out of the week was karaoke.
Who originally performs Closing Time?
Closing Time does? I don't know. I'm pretty sure they were a one-hit wonder.
Is it the Hit Crew?
Maybe.
Memes are kind of their own genre of music too.
Calm down there, Kanye.
No, like meme music.
Calm down there, Kanye. Damn. Harris is getting all kinds of beat up today.
He has my vote.
Yeah, that's it.
For the 2020 election.
But,
vote for Kanye.
No.
We're going to get all kinds of copyrighted.
What is this?
It's the right song.
What is that?
Anyway.
No,
Alright, so...
if we get a copyright strike, I'm going to be mad.
Right, so,
no way we could.
Yeah, we can.
Nobody even knows who sings the original song.
Google does.
That nobody ever listens to our podcast.
It apparently doesn't, because I'm on Google Play right now, and I just looked it up on there, and it told me the Hit Crew, which is not the original.
I'm just saying, we can get a copyright strike, then I'll have to take down the video and edit it again.
Okay, then say it backwards. Time is closing. Just to end it.
Time is closing.
Anyway.
That.
Shush, Google.
Time to close.
There we go.
Anyway, if we didn't get popped with copyrights from all of our other stuff that we've done, the only difference between what just happened there and all our other stuff is he was actually playing a song in the background. But
I doubt they even heard.
They probably didn't even hear it.
The only thing
but I
think
we've covered a lot here today. We could probably cover a lot more. Maybe we'll do a little more structured music topic later on. But it's getting kind of long on our cast here.
Sun's getting real low.
The sun's getting real low here. But I am going to go ahead and end it here and say talk at you later.
Deuces.